everybody, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Scott. It's time for the Almost Friday show for April 28th, 2011.
We'd like to start off with some congratulations to the royal couple. I'd tell you what their names are, but I honestly don't know.
Kate.
Oh, yeah, and then there's a prince involved.
William. George.
Bill.
Henry.
Dick.
Queen Elizabeth's grandson.
Yeah, there you go. So congratulations for you guys getting married like everyone else, except, your wedding cost like $3.5 billion.
Yeah, they're not paying for it.
No, taxpayers
Yeah,
are.
that's right.
Yeah.
You like that, Britain?
And yet, even though we're no longer part of Britain, we still care.
Even the American networks are covering this, which I don't get, because you guys were all down with the king and whatever.
Bunch of
Backtrack.
hypocrites.
I know,
Bunch
right?
of hypocrites.
Yeah.
Well, their king isn't even American.
No, he is. He has the little piece of paper.
Well, not according to Donald Trump.
Well, he would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, in this week's episode, things that are far more important than what's going on in the rest of the world. We're going to be taking a look at the new trailer for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Which even impressed him.
Which looks awesome.
Yeah. Harry Potter's not bad, people.
No, definitely not in its recent films.
No.
For sure.
No. Now that they're not children.
Yes.
Yeah, it has helped a lot. Tech Insight, we're going to tell you about how Apple's actually not tracking you.
Steve Jobs is just tracking the things around you.
Just close to you.
He wants to know about the raccoons in your backyard.
Not you directly, but things close to you.
In science, we're taking a look at the 25th anniversary of Chernobyl.
Yes.
It's been that long, guys.
There's some pretty crazy pictures out there if you look for them. It's really interesting to see like the complete emptiness of the towns around there. So,
For sure.
Good to remember. Behind the lens, we're talking about the Olympus
XZ1.
which I actually really liked. Cool little camera, so stay tuned for the review.
Without further ado, it's time for Off the Press. Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Press. Got a new Terminator movie for you. Or maybe there's a Terminator movie.
Maybe. So rumor has it this week that Arnold, once he's done being the Governator, is going to be starring in another Terminator movie?
That's right, he'll be back. In front of the big screen.
That's terrible. No.
Get to the cinema!
So this is still in heavy rumor land, although director Justin Lin is kind of attached to it in some way.
If you don't know who Justin Lin is, he's the guy that's been doing the most recent Fast and Furious movies, which are better than the original Fast and Furious movies. So, especially the new one, which looks really awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to see what he's going to do with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Or if Arnold is actually gonna do this movie.
Terminator, Tokyo Drift, I don't know.
Terminator invades Tokyo. Yeah.
The Terminator versus Godzilla?
Yes.
I don't know.
There you go, Mr. Lin.
Crossover idea right there. Major money.
$1 billion idea just for you. Free of charge.
Yep.
And moving on to actual movies.
So a new trailer has been launched for the Deathly Hallows Part 2 of the Harry Potter franchise.
The Harry Potter movie, and it looks awesome.
We should also say the final Harry Potter movie.
Yeah.
It is the conclusion of the series. And like we were saying before, with each new film, they've gotten progressively better as the actors are developing more. They're older now, so things are more serious, and the visual effects are top-notch now. It's really an epic-looking movie.
Yeah.
Now, they are doing it in 3D, which some people are kind of hemming and hawing about. I don't know whether it was shot in 3D, but if it wasn't, then it probably won't be very good. But if it was, then it probably could be good. But the other problem is a lot of the action sequences might be too intense for 3D to work properly.
Yeah, there's a lot. In the trailer, it looks like there's a lot of action sequences in this last movie. Like, I haven't read the book, and I haven't seen a couple of movies leading up to this, but I really, really want to see this movie. It looks so good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Harry Potter fan, we don't need to tell you about this because you watched it like the moment it was online, and you've already watched it 739 times. But if you're not a Harry Potter fan, it's about time to start going and being a Harry Potter fan because this does look like quite a fantastic movie.
I'd definitely go out and see all the movies, marathon them or something. It'd be a good weekend project.
Absolutely. And it looks like the Green Lantern has upped their budget. More movie news.
Yeah.
In the last little bit, because it is coming out the June 17th, they've added an extra $9 million into their FX budget, which some people thought was them trying to save stuff, but Warner Brothers has come back and basically said, no, we're just trying to go the extra mile and really make it as good as it can be.
It's like, oh, we found some loose change in our pocket. Here you go, CGI guys. And some other Warner Brothers reps are saying that this is normal for movies.
Well,
nowadays
Variety,
and all
which is
that.
one of the larger newspapers in the California area that talks about this kind of stuff, says that this is sort of par for the course with movies these days because most movies are so special effects heavy. A lot of the companies will throw a little bit of bits of extra cash at it near the end to try and just add whatever little bits they can. So apparently this is kind of becoming pretty normal. Also, Warner Brothers was doing it as sort of a comeback because when they first launched their original trailer, it really lacked a lot of the CGI.
It was kind of really shitty.
Didn't have any of the epicness that it should have. So Warner Brothers wants to make up for it by being like, we're really making sure it's as epic as possible because epic is the key word in today's film industry.
I'm still not sold on Green Lantern being like 99% CG.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds only being in a CG costume. I think that's, I don't know, I think it's a cop-out.
A little bit, yeah.
But who knows? Maybe it'll be better than we expect. I was never a big Green Lantern fan to begin with.
No, same here. I want a Flash movie. Come on, DC, make it happen.
And moving on, in this week's new releases, not a whole lot going on.
No.
If you are going out to the movie theater, Fast 5 is coming out.
Yep.
The 5th Fast and Furious movie.
Which looks pretty epic.
Which, in case some of you don't know, there's a timeline to the Fast and Furious movies. And if you've watched Tokyo Drift, it hasn't happened yet in the timeline.
Or it's an alternate universe.
No, it just hasn't happened yet in the timeline.
Universe.
Hasn't happened yet in the timeline.
Herp.
Because some of the characters from Tokyo Drift are actually coming back for this one. And it also references why in Tokyo Drift Vin Diesel shows up at the end and stuff. So
it was his evil twin.
I'll be curious to see whether this is the last movie, as it's about like them getting to their freedom collectively as a group. Because I think if they go beyond 5, they're just drawing it out. But it does look like it's going to be a pretty spectacular movie. Plus, it's got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in it, so they've added another heavy hitter. And this seems to be kind of like a heist thing going on. So I don't know. I'm excited for it, and the reviews have been pretty good thus far. So I think it could be cool.
And another movie we're kind of looking forward to this week is Hoodwink 2, Hood vs. Evil.
I'm not sure how I feel about this, because the first one was such an awesome movie that I feel like the second one is just going to try and play on it too much, and it won't be as good. Kind of like all of the Shrek movies after the first one.
I'll still go see this movie though. It looks.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the original Hoodwinked, you need to watch it because it was it flew under the radar, but it was a really hilarious movie poking fun at fairy tales, like Shrek, but a lot better than Shrek did it. The animation's so-so, but the storytelling is really quite funny.
It's one of those kids' movies that are good for everyone. Like, there are some jokes there that you won't get as a kid, and there's some jokes that, like, parents will get, so...
So a couple good movies to check out in theaters this week. Nothing really special coming to DVD, and no new games being launched. So with that, it brings us to the end of Off the Press for this week.
Hi everyone, welcome to Tech Insight for this week. We got a bit of an interesting one, I think.
Yeah, so a lot of privacy stories this week. There's not a whole lot going on, but we're going to start off with the ongoing PlayStation Network saga. A bunch of PlayStation users noticed, I don't know, about almost a week now.
Yeah.
That the PlayStation Network doesn't. I can't
log on. Yeah. Why can't I get my leader scores?
So PlayStation kind of just was like, no, that's hey. 6 days later, so we got hacked.
Yeah.
So the PlayStation Network actually did get hacked, which is, first of all, impressive.
They're pretty clandestine with the hacker stuff.
Really bad for Sony. So basically, like this made like real news outlets, like local CTV News here up in Ottawa, Canada, said if you're a PlayStation user, tune in at 6. So basically, all the information they store on you is at their whim of the hacker. So things like your email address, your full name, your address. They didn't mention credit cards. I never paid, not very, PlayStation Network's free, unless you have the Plus thing. I don't think there's a lot of people there.
And even then...
And I think it might be done separately.
For the most part, if Sony was stupid enough, and I do use that term, stupid enough to hold on to your credit card information on their PlayStation sharing network.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a very bad move, and if that person did get that, you had it coming. Like, that's just dumb.
I haven't heard anything about the credit card thing, so I wouldn't worry about that, but you could get emails from Lord knows who now, and you have a lot of personal information. Who knows what they're going to do with that. So, big leak on Sony's part. It took them a long time to
really
cough up to
know.
it.
Yeah.
I think they knew immediately, but I don't think that they didn't issue a press release till a couple days ago.
You know why though? Probably because they were trying to keep it in-house, get it out of the way, get
And
everything
then
back
just
up and
kinda-
running, and just
sorry for the interruption.
exactly. It
And
didn't
took
happen.
too long. So they did finally email all their users. This is what happened. We're sorry. We're fixing it. Still not up as
No.
of day of recording. That's a long downtime. Xbox has never had more than maybe 12 hours of scheduled downtime, so that's kind of sad.
So there was the 48-hour that they had at one point, but that was still...
Yeah, so I don't know, but hopefully for all you PlayStation gamers out there, the PlayStation Network will come up soon. Moving on, more privacy. Last week we talked about Apple tracking your location, and Quinn thought it was cool because this is where I've been, and all that. And finally, Apple has said something to this because that was also starting to get a lot of attention. Apple said, no, we don't track you. Okay? We never have, and we won't.
However, we're turning the tracking software off.
So so they said we don't track you, but we are collecting what they crowdsourced information about Wi-Fi hotspots and cell tower locations that you connect to. And I'm like, well, if I'm in a major city and I'm connected to a cell tower, and you know that I'm with my phone near that cell tower, that's just as good as tracking my phone. I mean, it's not quite as precise. Obviously, they're not logging GPS coordinates because your phone would be out of power immediately.
To give them just one. To give it to the conspiracy theorists and to the people who are freaking out, to give them their credit, if you used even Wi-Fi triangulation, you can get pretty close.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can place them to within maybe 10 feet, and then you put that in with your cell towers, you got an even higher resolution.
The thing on Apple's side here is just saying, look, we're keeping this information so that we can remember where the towers are and get you online faster, which is true.
That's a very good idea.
If I'm in the same area a lot, it's good for my phone to be aware of what the location of my Wi-Fi networks are and how far cell towers are and which tower they're on, because things like that you never think of, but you change towers between your drive from home to work like 6 times. So your phone needs to be aware of that,
and it allows for more efficient switching. It also allows for a better signal.
Yeah, so that's a good thing, but why do we need to log it since I bought my phone? Is basically where people were going with that, So Apple's issuing a fix. Now it's not going to stop logging.
No.
What it's going to do is shorten the length of time. They didn't
specify how long it is that log file is.
But they also said it's not going to be synced to your desktop anymore.
No, that's true.
Which is a good thing, I think, because then it's not, the information's not all on your phone and your computer.
Well, if you think about it this way, with this coming to light, anybody who wanted to take advantage of you, let's face it, there are malicious people out there, and if they knew, hey, all their information in the way of where they've been is being stored on their computer as well.
Yeah, it's a little much.
All they need to do is find out where that is and you're done.
So, the stance from Apple kind of makes sense from a technical standpoint. Still think it's a giant hole, so they are filling it.
Yep.
Took a little long, I don't know why. Maybe they had to draft a patch or something, but if you don't want yourself being tracked at all anymore, if location services is off completely, so that means none of your apps can access GPS, the cache isn't kept anymore. So there you go.
Well, that's not too bad. But
I think that plugs the hole sufficiently to,
until they can find a way of keeping it so it's even shorter or...
Well, I mean, you can turn it off if you want, and that's really all they have to offer is a way to say, hey, you don't like it, turn it off.
That is true.
So I think it's an appropriate response. Probably too late, but what can you do?
Yep. But you know what else, though, just speaking of cell phones, though, is Rogers is putting an LTE network.
Yeah, so this is first we've heard of a company shipping, you can actually, that TELUS has been trialing it, Rogers has been trialing it, Bell's been trialing it, and our neighbors to the south of the United States, they've been shipping, I think Verizon is rolling out LTE slowly. AT&T's been talking about it. So finally Rogers said by the end of the year, 4 cities will have LTE rolled out. Ottawa, Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto. So those are your big Rogers cities, essentially.
I see all the cities that I frequent, except for Vancouver. I've never been there.
Yeah, and they're talking 150 megabit wireless service.
Holy crap.
Which is pretty exciting. And Rogers was the first roll at 3G.
Yep.
Rogers was the first roll at 3G Plus. And they're fairly robust networks. I mean, every network has its foibles, and it's been getting a little worse in Ottawa, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we're getting a lot of... crowded.
The data usage is going up. But anyway, so hopefully this will lessen that. Now, unfortunately, they haven't said much about phones, so I wouldn't expect an LTE phone anytime, probably not till next year.
Yeah.
But I mean, even Verizon, who's had LTE operational in some cities, doesn't have that. So I believe they're offering modems
Yeah.
for data,
I was
which is
gonna say-
really where this belongs at this point.
I was gonna say I don't think the LTE network should be on a cell phone, a smartphone as of yet.
I think it will be.
It will
eventually,
be,
but
that's the
it's not
way it
there,
has to
right?
go. But right now, it is perfectly marketed toward, your highway warrior, the guy who's out there with his laptop and literally has to be plugged in all the time.
It's for the businessman in Canada really at this
Exactly.
point. No word on pricing.
Yep.
Expensive probably.
It's Rogers, so more than likely.
No word on whether you're going to be able to get at it from Fido brand stuff. I
No
would
word
imagine not for now.
No word of also the actual data cap or anything like that.
Yeah, well, there will be caps
Yeah,
because you
well.
can't get any more than about 6 gigs on now. Even if you buy a modem, I think it's like 5.
Yeah, I think you're limited there.
Well, they'll have to have larger caps. That service is ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as the details unfold on this one.
Yeah, so we will cover that. Hopefully, trial it. Maybe that would be sweet.
That would be.
Because it is launching here, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So good for Rogers. Telus and Bell, catch up, guys. Catch up. Keep the competition going.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least, a word to our Linux friends. It is April,
Yep.
which means it's Ubuntu release month. April and October, they always have a release. That's why it's 04 and 10.
Yep.
And I don't know if anybody cares about that.
Not usually, unless you're a Linux user.
And a lot of the time, the releases are really boring at 04 because they're kind of, trial stuff, and then 10's the big release. This one's cool. It's 1104. It's called Natty Narwhal. They always come up with cool names. They're at N now.
Yeah. And it looks pretty spiffy.
It looks very spiffy. It's got Unity desktop environment built in, which is kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, it's kind of like a merger of the other popular ones.
Pretty much. It's basically, now, I don't know if this is the case anymore. Unity, they used it as like a game engine. I mean, you used to be able to find the 3D games on the iPhone and the Android. They were using the Unity engine. And it allowed for quite a lot of, just GUI and customization. Now it looks really good. And this is the same thing, I could be wrong, it is bridging everything together. It's making KDE, GNOME,
yeah.
and all of them kind of come together, hence Unity. And it looks
gorgeous.
really good.
They've kind of moved around the taskbar. It's kind of like a launchy dock almost thing on the
Yeah.
side, and it's really easy to get to applications. They've still got that Ubuntu store.
Yep.
Everything's free in the store, but you can access the software kind of like Mac and Windows have decided to do now, even though Ubuntu did it first. So it looks pretty cool. I'm going to try and demo it. It just came out a couple days ago.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to get it going and maybe get some screenshots and some demos of the cool the UI and stuff for you guys for next week.
Because this could get really neat.
It looks good, and if you're a Dell fan, Dell's shipping it on their laptops already.
Yeah, so jump on that.
If you don't want a Windows license for whatever reason, save you $50.
Yeah.
And that's it from Tech Insight this week.
It's kind of alive.
Nah, it's still dead.
Oh. Right, so who's ready to do some science?
Oh, pick me.
Sam.
Sweet. Starting off this week on a little bit of a downer note. So this week marked the 25th anniversary of the Chernobyl incident.
Yeah, so...
One of the greatest nuclear disasters in human history.
Well, it is the...
It
is the biggest non-military expellation of radiation known to man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a bit of a downer, but the worst, most depressing part is no one would have thought of it. It was going to be passed by, believe it or not.
Oh, right.
I mean, there's going to be the few people who, of course, know about Chernobyl, who pay attention to, nuclear power and all of that. They would have said, oh yeah, that happened 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But this is being recognized the world over, unfortunately.
Because of what happened in Japan recently.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because of what's happening in Japan. And actually, believe it or not, the surviving liquidators from 25 years ago are very happy that they're finally getting recognition.
Yeah.
Because they were always like, it was like, yes, we talk about Chernobyl, we think of those people, but you don't think about them long enough.
Yeah.
And this, when this happened, when they finally reached the day and more people paid attention, the liquidators were actually at the point of saying, the ones that survived came out and said, wow, thank you the world
About
for,
damn time.
pretty much,
Yeah.
for thinking of us. Because a lot of them are still suffering from a lot of health issues, because that was a lot of
obviously.
radiation. They had no
Well,
protection.
they evacuated the town, but like a year later, people started moving back in. So
Yeah,
the people
they
that
started
moved back
getting
in
closer
started
and
getting
closer.
sicker, and the wildlife and vegetation there is still one of the most radioactive places in the world.
You
Like,
can't
the
even get near the town
Yeah,
Pripyat.
the forest beside the town is like the most radioactive place in the world because of the soil and like going through
Yeah.
the trees and everything.
No one will ever live in these areas ever again.
Yeah, or at
It's-
least for another couple of thousand years.
Yeah. Potentially never ever again.
Yeah.
But in some more sad news,
Yeah.
it's kind of a sad week for
It's a
science.
very sad week for science.
SETI, search for extraterrestrial life,
Yeah.
or extraterrestrial intelligences, sorry,
Yeah.
shut down.
Yeah.
The government pulled the plug.
Due to lack of government funding. They
Yeah.
still have some private funding, but they've shut down their listening satellites, or their listening...
They shut down the biggest,
Yeah.
or sorry, not the biggest, but the best, most advanced satellite array, or sorry, satellite, telescope array, the Allen telescope array.
Yeah.
It's,
They're still processing information, they're just not listening anymore.
which sucks because we could be
yeah.
missing that message right now.
Yeah, you know, it always happens. When you stop listening to the radio, your name gets called or something.
Exactly.
You know? So,
It's like that moment that you say, "Oh, my phone's dead, but no one should call me." That's when the emergency
yeah,
comes
it's
in.
like, oh, this radio announcer's not going to call me anyway. Why am I listening to this station? You know?
Gone, and you lose it. So, poor choice for government. They obviously have their reasons. However, SETI is hoping that the community, that is everyone,
Yeah.
is going to try and put some money forward because they already have had it.
Yeah.
People have already come forward and said, "Oh crap, you guys have lost funding. Get back
Yeah,
on that damn telephone."
There's a lot of nerds out there that are like, yeah, I'll throw a couple of bucks into this. Or
Yeah.
a lot
I mean,
of
there are
really rich
people-
nerds out there that are like, here, have a big grand old sack of money.
Hey, Paul Allen, you always do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could really use you now.
You still have all the Microsoft money, right?
Yeah. So, unfortunately, SETI's shut down for now. They're not, I shouldn't say shut down, hindered greatly. So, it would be very interesting if they could get back online, and
Yeah.
hopefully, we've got call waiting. Hopefully, they leave a message.
Yeah, there's voicemail somewhere,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Hello, you've reached Earth. We are currently away from the phone at this time due to lack of funding. But please, leave your message. We will get back to you. Beep. Probably start an interstellar war.
Yeah.
But speaking of space in the universe, well, the LHC has gotten a lot closer to creating more Big Bangs, but also finding the Higgs boson.
Hooray.
Boson, sorry. They haven't found it yet.
No.
For those who don't know, the Higgs boson is the theoretical particle. We haven't found it, the so-called God particle,
Yeah.
which gives all matter mass. We haven't found it yet, but the LHC has broken records now. It has
Hooray.
broken the collision speed record and light intensity records, which
That's pretty
means
sweet.
that it has more collisions. The more collisions we get, the closer we are to
Yeah.
finding it.
If you hit it enough times, sooner or later something good will happen.
Exactly. The amount of collisions that happen at the certain whatever speeds it is
Yeah.
causes way more streamers and way more stuff to happen, and we could find it on the signature. But we're still not there. We're getting there. They did, however, find anti-helium.
That's pretty good news.
Yeah,
That's a good little bonus for them.
yeah. We got anti-hydrogen, anti-helium. If only we could make an antimatter balloon of sorts, we could have kind of floaty things, except they wouldn't work in matter. They'd annihilate. It'd be neat though.
All right.
Look, I just want to see an annihilation. All right.
You just want things to explode.
Well, doesn't anyone?
Fair enough. All right. So continuing with our space theme.
In
In
space.
space. The founder of SpaceX, Elon Musk, said in an interview this past week that they plan to go to the moon in 3 years and Mars in 10 to 20 years. This is after they got a big sack of money, I think $75 million-ish from
yeah,
NASA.
they got a lot.
Yeah.
You know what? Good on you. I
Yeah,
mean, this is private industry going to space. It's going to be really funny, though, to see a SpaceX flag
Yeah.
on the moon.
The
Like,
important part is they're
oh.
trying, you know, it's
yeah,
gotta start somewhere.
I can see them going to the moon.
Yep, I can see the
Um,
moon not in 3 years, somewhere between 4 and 10-ish, 5
Yeah.
and 10. But 3 years just seems a little bit too close. But who knows? Maybe with that $75 million
They
plus
can pull it all
the
together.
other money, they can pull it together.
the only thing is, though, Mars.
Yeah, 10 to 20 15 to
Yeah,
20?
maybe.
I'm thinking 15 to
I
20.
personally have never understood why we want to go to Mars. Just keep sending robots.
Because we can.
We can't, though. We've not
Because-
done it. We have not had the manpower nor money.
Before 1969, they didn't go to the moon. That didn't stop them.
Yeah, but then they did it.
Exactly.
And they did it within the time period that they specified.
That's true, yeah.
Where we've been
JFK
cutting money from.
JFK did say we will be on the moon in 10 years.
That's
and
because they went. Here, money. Go, 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 go,
we
go,
gotta
go,
beat the
go.
Russians. Oh shit, oh shit.
And then now it's like, oh, well, you say we're going to be going there, but just going to pull some of that money back.
Yeah,
So,
kind of have a war to fight here.
so you know what? I think we're going to probably end up doing like the Russians. We're going to send a dog to Mars first. I mean, yeah, we've already sent like robots, but we're probably going to send an animal first. Yeah, we got a lot of monkeys.
Bad dog, or the crazy dog robot.
Oh God, big dog.
Big dog. That's
That'd be
the one.
creepy. That would be really
It'd
creepy.
be perfect.
Actually, you know what he would be? He would get stuck.
Exactly.
Why aren't you doing that, NASA?
Work with DARPA here. Come on, guys.
Instead of screwing around. Anyway, we'll get into that some other time. Either way, you know what? SpaceX. Better yet, you got money. Use damn big dog. Learn from NASA's mistake. Anyway, not to ever put down NASA. I mean, I could never put someone on the moon. I could never ever work at
No.
NASA.
But
I
you
don't
know,
have the glasses.
yeah, it's good that SpaceX is like actively, really pushing this.
It really is.
It's getting this to the forefront of people's minds again.
It
And
is. And
Also, this past week, also fun fact, marks the 10th anniversary of space tourism.
oh, really?
Yep. The millionaire, last name Tito, he went up to the space station 10 years ago this week.
What do you know?
Fun fact.
Yeah. Well, good on you, Elon. Hopefully you can keep getting.
Keep that space tourism industry booming.
Yeah. Well, that wraps it up for science this week. Hopefully you had fun. I know we did. We were in space!
Hey everybody, welcome behind the lens this week. First up on the docket, Nikon's got a new lens, the Nifty 50.
It's true. 50mm lens have been made forever.
Yes.
They are the standard lens. If you bought a film camera back in the 70s or the 80s or even before that, you probably had either a 35 or a 50mm lens on it. Those are the two sort of default standards. And the great thing about 50mm lenses is they've always been sharp, they've always been fast, they let a lot of light in, and they've always been relatively cheap. And Nikon was no stranger to that. They've had a 50mm lens, f1.8 lens for a while now. It's been $160, but unfortunately, due to the recent changes in Nikon cameras in the last couple of years, their 50mm doesn't autofocus on
lower models.
on the lower models. So things like your D3000, your D30-100, your D50-100, that kind of thing, you won't be able to autofocus the $159 lens. You have to spend $500 and get their f1.4. It is brighter, but it's a lot more expensive.
And if you're shooting on a lower model, maybe you're not kind of into lenses
For
of
sure.
that caliber.
So it's been kind of disappointing because that is a lens people love to go to, and someone who deals with people buying camera gear all the time, it's one of the first lenses I always recommend to people to get. So Nikon has remedied the situation, and they've brought out their new G series of the 50mm f1.8. So it does have the focusing motor in the lens, which means that if you do have one of the lower models in the Nikon lineup, you can now use it. It is unfortunately a little bit more expensive. It's $229. So it puts it closer to the price point of the 35mm lens, which, you know, it's kind of a downside to me because the thing was that if you compare Nikon and Canon, the 50mm in Canon was already $20 cheaper, and it autofocused because Canon puts motors in all of their lenses because their bodies have just never had them. So because of that,
It's a bit of a disadvantage.
it's a
there,
bit of, you know, out of the gate, Nikon was like, well, we're only $20 more, and arguably Nikon's lens was better built than Canon's lens. But now, if you've got
$60
that,
almost.
if you've got that cheaper lens or that cheaper camera, you're gonna have to spend a little bit more for it.
And they're not making the old 50mm anymore? This is the
They,
only one?
they
or-
probably still will, because they do both versions of the 51.4 right
Okay.
now, because it is cheaper if you've got one of those higher end cameras.
Yeah.
So, you know, what they boast about the G series lenses, AFS motors, they're supposed to be faster. In reality, that's not always the case. But it's kind of nice if you were holding out and wanted to get a 50mm f1.8 lens for your lower model Nikon. It is available now, so it should be shipping in the next little while. Although with things going on in Japan right now, who knows when we'll actually see them on store
Yeah,
shelves.
there's been a lot of word of delays coming from Nikon. Canon
Absolutely.
side of things.
On a side note to that, if you are looking to buy an SLR or something, go buy it now, because if you want to buy it a month from now, there's a pretty high chance it's not going to be available. especially from major companies like Canon and Nikon who build or source a lot of their materials from Japan. So if you do want to buy a camera, do it soon. What's been circling around the net this week is a concept, and it is a concept in entirety, put together by a design company just as to show what they can do. But it's an interesting concept, and
something that seems like a logical kind of next step, almost.
Yeah. So what it is it's a marriage of the iPhone 4 with a Leica point and shoot, which means that both things are very expensive. And they both don't do a whole lot. Well, that's not true. The iPhone does a lot, but the Leica camera is not going to do a lot. So their mentality is they're bringing one of the best phones together with one of the best camera companies. Now, the idea is that this concept, you slide your phone into it, and it's not that your phone is taking the pictures anymore. There is a sensor and a lens built into this, but it's that your phone becomes the interface for the camera. So when you slide it in, there's a Leica app that now is where you're going to see live view and see your picture counters, and your photos are going to get stored to your phone automatically, and you'll be able to control all the settings of the camera using your phone. But then there's still a sensor and a lens and a manual shutter button and a manual shutter speed button and things like that, which is actually really awesome because there's been a lot of talk about how, especially in today's world where we're constantly uploading information, news, pictures, all that kind of stuff, it's really surprising we haven't seen an SLR that has a 3G modem in it. I mean, if we can fit it in a cell phone, we can sure as hell fit it in an SLR. And to have just an interface to be able to upload to Flickr or to Twitter or things like that direct from your camera, as silly as that seems,
but there's so many of those picture services out now.
So many of those pictures. I mean, case in point, the iPhone 4 is now the most popular camera on Flickr. So that goes to show you a lot about the concept of the best phone, the best camera is the one they have on you.
Or you'd really be surprised to not see this in point-and-shoots, because that's where the people are going to be substituting out their iPhone, right?
Absolutely. Now, obviously, you'd have a data plan and all that kind of stuff, but this is kind of an interesting concept because it's taking a phone that you're already paying for a data plan and then giving you a better camera to work with it. So now you can take your pictures, but your phone's right there, so you can have better quality pictures in the same device that you can also upload.
Kind of simplifies the process for someone looking to, you don't have to go sign up for the plan and make sure the camera you buy has, the package.
Yeah. So unfortunately, this likely is never going to exist. But it is an interesting proof of concept of what could be done, and also points at that idea of why don't our cameras have more interconnectivity with devices in which we share stuff with.
And I mean, we'll see how much people want to take that off with the new iFi card, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not similar-ish concept. You can beam the photos right to your iPad or your iPhone. So if that takes off, you could see, I don't know, maybe more practical adaptations like this.
Yeah, I mean, even myself, I've shifted a lot of my editing now to the iPad. I upload my photos to my iPad, I do my editing, and I upload them from there. I rarely ever edit on my computer anymore, just because one, my iPad's always with me, and two, it's more directly connected to things. So I really like that concept of a camera that's going to communicate with the web, but not just by joining a wireless network or something, but by actually, no matter where you are, oh look, this is happening, click, okay, Twitter, good, news. So it's an interesting concept. So the last thing for today is gear review for you. We've got the Olympus XZ1, which is Olympus's answer to the sort of compact point and shoot on the sort of professional end side of things. So like most of the professional point and shoots, you're looking at a 10 megapixel sensor. It's got a nice big 3-inch super AMOLED screen on the back, which is quite bright and quite sharp.
Very nice,
easy to see, although it does have a weird viewing angle. Colors get kind of weird when you point it at.
You really got to look dead on. Yeah. Yeah.
But the real breadwinner for this guy is the lens. Not only is the lens fantastically sharp, it's also very bright. So it's a 4x optical zoom, which is standard for most of these style cameras. But the difference is it's f1.8 at the wide angle, which there's other cameras that do that. But where it really shines is once you zoom in that 4 times, you're f2.5. So you're still brighter than most of the competition. So they've put a bright lens on this camera, which really helps it perform well in low light. On top of that, it's got really good high ISO noise, so if you are shooting in low light, it does a pretty good job. And it's got a low light mode, which helps improve things like that. Overall, it's a little bit of a bigger camera than something like the S95, but it is pretty comfortable, It's easy to hold. They've got the little pop-up flash like a lot of them do. What they've done with this guy is they've put their accessory port on the top, which allows you to use Pen Series flashes as well as the Pen Series viewfinder.
Yep.
So if you do want to add an electronic viewfinder to this guy, you can. I mean, you're going to spend an extra $300 on an electronic viewfinder on top of your $550 point and shoot. So I don't think a lot of people are going to jump on that bandwagon. But it is pretty cool little camera. You got a chance to play with it. What do you think overall?
I really liked that. I even noticed that the lens was nice, which should say something. I mean, it's not, you don't have to be, expert to pick it up and go, yeah, this is really crisp in that. It's got a really nice depth of field, I thought.
Yeah, and that's something you don't typically see on point and shoots. Because the lenses, one, aren't typically bright, and two, the sensors are so small, you don't tend to get that SLR depth of field. But even on this guy, even when you zoom in with it and it's at f2.5, you still get a decent sense of depth of field. So I think you're going to get a little bit more professional looking picture out of this guy than you would out of like an S95 or something, just the way the optics are designed.
Yeah.
Side story for that is that this is the first Olympus camera to be allowed to have the Zuiko name on it. And Zuiko is what Olympus usually ties into their high-end professional glasses, which is some of the best glass out there. It's very sharp. But Olympus has never put that name on their point and shoots because they just never felt it was up to par. And they're not a company that wants to throw it around like Sony does, where they put Carl Zeiss on.
Yeah.
I've got a cell phone with a Carl Zeiss lens. All right, I really don't think that's Carl Zeiss lens. But so Olympus has put the Zuiko name on this guy, which is a testament to them strongly believing in this camera.
And from what we've seen, rightfully so.
Yeah.
I think,
initially, I was skeptical of it because I'm not a huge fan of Olympus cameras, and my top choice for a compact performance point and shoot has been the S95. But I would say that this guy has knocked that out of his place. The higher performing lens, the better low light capability, the bigger screen, and I think although it's a larger camera, the ergonomics are more comfortable.
No, that's what I was going to say. It's not super small. It's not too big.
Yeah.
Like if you really needed to, you could still throw it in your pocket. It'll fit well in any kind of bag and that. But it is a size that feels right. Like I got big hands, but it's good quality. Sometimes the smaller cameras kind of feel like they cram too much in. The controls are easy to use. I think it's well built for the size it is.
Yep.
And I think it's one of the very few cameras I've played with in the last little while that I've actually wanted to buy. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah.
So you can pick it up for $549. That's the Olympus XZ1, and it's our new top choice for a prosumer point and shoot camera. And with that, it brings you to the end of Behind the Lens for this week. Also brings us to the end of the show this week.
Yep.
As per usual, if you want to get a hold of us, you can reach us on Twitter at @almost_Friday.
Or you can email us your suggestions if you want to know more about this camera, or you have a suggestion of a new, better prosumer point and shoot. You can email us at contact@almostfridayshow.com.
If you'd like to send us funding to get us to Mars, we'd be more than happy to
We'd like to
attempt
beat
it.
SpaceX.
Yeah, that'd be good.
6 years if you call in.
It'd be the Almost Friday shuttle.
Weak. We need to work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we don't go to space very often.
SpaceX is pretty cool. It's hard to compete.
We'll be Space Y.
Uh,
Space Z. Z Space.
Z-Space is nice.
Space ZY. Oh, there's too many letters now.
Go buy the domain.
Yeah, alright, that's what I'm going to go do now.